All right, class of 2021. This is ready for part 2 of our parent information. So moving on to slide 11 in your yellow folder. The next part we're going to talk about will be Regents curriculum, Kansas Board of Regents. And there have been some significant changes in the past year for Kansas Board of Regents. KBOR, Kansas Board of Regents, also known as KBOR, is the governing body over all of the state community colleges and state colleges and universities within the state. So they oversee all of those entities. And there have been a lot of recent changes. On page 5 of the enrollment and planning guide goes over a lot of information. So if you've had a student who has graduated from any Kansas school prior to this year, things are going to look a lot differently. So on that page 5, you can see what the old criteria was as opposed to the new. It used to be that you had to have chemistry, different math, those sort of things. So it was unit specific in addition to some other criteria. So they have recently changed this. So Emporia State, Fort Hays, Wichita State, and Pittsburgh State University have recently changed. So to be accepted into one of those universities, you have to have an ACT of 21 or a GPA of 2.25 or higher to be accepted. K-State says a 21 on the ACT or a 3.25. And then KU does a sliding scale. So it's a 21 on your ACT and a 3.25 GPA, or a 24 on your ACT and a 3.0 GPA. So they kind of have a sliding scale for that. So each one of those are a little bit differently. All of them have the requirement of a GPA of 2.0 or higher on any college classes taken while you were in high school. So that is a key component. So any dual credit, Fort Scott, Labette, Pitt State classes that you're taking, Allen County, wherever it may be, any of those courses, you must have a 2.0 or higher GPA in those college classes. So again, more information is on page 5 of the enrollment guide. And that is just to be accepted. So those are not going to be scholarship opportunities. I also encourage students who know they are going on to a 4-year university to take the proper classes in order to be prepared and be successful in college. So you don't want to just take the easy way out while you're in high school and then get to college and realize that you are not prepared and now have a significant debt. So we want you to be successful. One option is a program called Qualified Admissions, and this is where a student can attend Pittsburgh State University campus. However, they are actually a Fort Scott Community College student and pay that FSCC tuition. Now, in order to qualify for this, you must graduate with all of the requirements set forth by our board. You must take the Accuplacer or the ACT, and I'll get into both of those in just a little bit. You will enroll as a Fort Scott student through Pitt State, so you actually enroll in both of those classes. A couple of notes to keep in mind. If you take Qualified Admissions where you're at Fort Scott at Pitt State, you do not qualify for scholarships, for academic scholarships at either entity. So you will qualify for financial aid if you have Pell Grant, that sort of thing. You would still receive that. But specific academic scholarships offered by that college or university, you would not be eligible for. So if you have a high GPA and Fort Scott's offering you $1,200 a semester plus books, that would not be eligible for this. Those would only be at main campus in Fort Scott. Also, you must have a Crawford County address. I have several students who live in Missouri who have tried to do this, and you have to have a Crawford County address in order to be eligible for that. So I talked briefly about AccuPlacer and ACT, so let's go on about that for just a second. So ACT testing, some students are going to need to take it now and get that taken care of quickly. Some students will never need to take the ACT. Depending on their post or after graduation plans. So that's going to be important. Students who do choose to take the ACT, if they receive free or reduced school lunches, they've received 2 fee waivers throughout their high school career. The current cost of ACT is now $55. They do offer some online study tools, and you can send your scores to up to 4 schools for free as you sign up to take the test. If you choose to take the test and then later on send it to another college, they typically charge for that service that they would provide. If you would, go ahead and look at your orange paper. I'm going to pause for just a minute so I can bring that up. Orange paper that is directly behind the copies of this slideshow or the slide handout presentation are the dates for the 2020 and 21 ACT test dates. And you can see here the dates, the registration, and then the $35 late fee. This December 12th is really important for seniors to know. I would go ahead and put a star, asterisk, something there that brings your attention to that date. Typically, colleges will accept up to the December of their senior year ACT score to be eligible for any scholarships or any other opportunities. So after that December date, typically most colleges do not count that ACT score. So that is important to know, that December 12th date. It's easiest if you get with me and get a transcript. If you need a fee waiver, you need to get with me before that as well. Accounts, you have to register and log in at actstudent.org. Create an account and study and register for a national test date, and then study, most definitely study. There are the fees. Most students do not need to take the writing, so typically it's without writing. And then you do get to sign up for have your score sent to 4 schools for free, and those are the codes for some local universities and community colleges. But you can find every college available at the act.org. All right, so that's ACT. Head on back to your slides now. Slide number 13 is where I'm at. So the AccuPlacer. The AccuPlacer is another form of testing that is a placement exam, and it's also put out by ACT. However, it's not timed. It's typically administered at the community college, and students can go in and take, there's a reading part and a math part to the test as well. And usually they have to, well, you would have to schedule with that community college to go in, take the test. I believe they are still free to take. I have had students that have taken them multiple times, and they've had to charge, I think, a $5 or $10 fee to retake after a certain number. Each community college is a little bit different. So it is a placement exam, and those scores are used for the AccuPlacer for community colleges to put you in your English and math classes. Also, there may be a cut score that you have to have for a social studies class as well. But that is the AccuPlacer. If you are going to a 4-year university, it needs to be ACT, not AccuPlacer. If you're looking at going into the military or any armed forces, you need to take the ASVAB. This is required for military entry. This score is good for 2 years, and just like ACT and AccuPlacer, there are a lot of different ways and places that you can study online in order to help you be prepared. Also, ACT Work Keys is another component, and this one, several of my current seniors took it last year as juniors, and this is for workforce and workplace employment and can improve your job skills. The other thing about testing, no state assessments this year. Okay, so that's a lot of information that I've given you about testing. So some people may be wondering, should I take the ACT? Do I need to take the ACT? So go through this quick. Are you going to put time and effort into studying? Are you going to use your resources and ask for help? Do you plan on going to a 4-year institution or professional degree? If you answered yes, then yes, you should take the ACT. If you're not going to put time and effort into studying, no. Are you going to show up the day of the test and think that you're actually prepared? Probably not the best idea. I plan on going into the workforce, military, community college, or certificate program. If you answered yes, then most likely you would not need to take the ACT. There would be other testing avenues that could be more beneficial for you. So not everyone needs to take the ACT. It is not designed that way and could lead to a lot of frustration. If you are looking at going directly into a 4-year, then yes, you could. Students, you also remember we've had this conversation numerous times to where if a student they graduate from Frontenac, they go to a 2-year, get their associate's degree, and then they want to transfer to a 4-year after that. Depending on the program, the area of study could mean that they have to have a base ACT score. So for example, Pittsburgh State University, their nursing, their business, their education, construction, I think that's it, programs, I believe still have a cut score of 22 or higher to be accepted into the program. So even though you could be accepted into college at a 21 or the 2.25, the way they have it currently set up, you have to have that minimum ACT score of 22 in order to be accepted into that college, that area of study, that program at the university. So you have to understand and know that you may not have to take it now, but you may have to take it later, or have some other means of testing that would be available that may be just one more hoop to jump through, but it could be required depending on what you want to go into. So if you're looking at how to practice, first off, ask for help. Our teachers are amazing and will help you, but they are not going to work harder than you are for studying for your ACT. You need to actually take the time to study. Hopefully, we will have a possible ACT class offered here. Guys, it's probably going to be in the spring, so your December ACT is going to come first. ACT prep class here is not going to help. And then there's also a program called Magoosh. It's an online ACT prep that has thousands of questions and tests and everything. So I've sent out quite a few emails on that as well. Another one that I recommend is this, I call it the Red Bible, official ACT prep guide. You can find it on Amazon for about $20. It does not matter what year it is. You can get the 17, 18, or the 20. It doesn't matter the year, but it has real tests, and it has, one of the reasons that I like it so much is that it has, every question says, like, J is the best answer. I'm just looking at it right now. J is the best answer according to table 1, and it goes through why J is the best answer. And then it says the answer is not, and then it gives the specific reasons why the answer is not the other answer choices. So it gives you what the answer is and why, and what the answer is not and why. So that is available for every single question throughout. This one is an older version. It's about 600 pages, so it's a lot. But there are 5 real tests and then countless pages on each answer as well. So this is a really good resource if you're going to actually use it. Kind of like a treadmill. It only works when you use it. So that concludes section part 2 of our video for parent information. Thank you.